Yeah, and we have to do some discussions.
Yeah, we do.
Especially in relation to education. And this time we're zeroing in on the Esojamang district.
All right, that's because there's been a directive, and I'm sure you've seen it, perhaps on social media, asking some schools in the Esojamang district to release school children to stand to welcome the president, essentially. This isn't the first time that students are being made to go through this ordeal. It's more of a ritual because anytime there's a visiting dignitary, school children stand in the sun to welcome him or her. Does this practice pertain in other jurisdictions? We've been asking. But this particular directive, and we put the statement out there on the screens if you haven't seen it yet. That's the statement on your screen, the official visit of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. And this is the one that's also asking for the schools, about 12 schools, they've minuted on the statement to release the JHS and senior high students so that they could come and stand out and wait for Mr. President and wave, perhaps, welcome him. And he, as part of the things that he's built to do, is to commission a one district, one factory in the district of Suhum. So we want to get some more on this particular issue, and we're being joined via phone by Thomas Ampim Nyako. He's Member of Parliament for Esojamang. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, madam. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too.
I'm also doing well.
We thank God. So this directive that's been issued, I think is dated, the date is today. Is it today that the president is coming to your constituency?
Yes, Esojamang is expecting the president today.
Okay. What do you have to say about this statement that was released asking for about 12 schools, the teachers and the students to come and line up? I'm not sure what for exactly, but I guess to welcome the president.
Exactly. I took a call from some of my head teachers the day before yesterday that they received this disturbing letter, and they were asked to come for a meeting yesterday in the morning to discuss that program. And so I said, okay, they should go and listen and listen. So after the meeting yesterday at Accra, they called about 4 of them, lamented that they've asked line up the kids along the principal street from Friday to Akosombo, and the teachers are all expected to accompany the kids and then wave at the president passing. And I felt it was unnecessary because Esojamang has seen precedents upon precedents. During my tenure as district chief executive, President Mahama visited Esojamang not less than 10 times. Sometimes with foreign dignitary because of this place they have Roma bill on the dam. So he came there several times. There wasn't even one occasion that we asked school children to line up.
No, so what's your point? Even during former President Mahama's era, school children would be asked to go and line up on the streets. Is that what you're saying?
We never did that. President Mahama never asked for that. The district chief executive never requested for that. The district education director, who is still the education director now, never initiated such a move. And I feel that it is a colonial thing that used to happen. And where we have gotten to, I don't think it is necessary.
So what has changed? What do you think has changed?
I don't know. In fact, they sent me another letter which suggested that it was a request from the district chief executive to the education director to allow the students to come and line up and welcome the president. And felt that, and parents were complete. You look at accidents along the routes and all those things, sports fans. You even ask SHS students to come and line up when you know that double track system and all this is reducing hours and all that. We felt that it wasn't necessary, and I'm happy that they are calling me back this morning to tell me that the education director called them between last night and this morning that they should cancel the program. And so I'm grateful to the media. The media, you are doing wonderfully well. I feel that the media is really putting government on it, even more than minorities.
So the directive has been overturned?
Yes, verbally. That is what the heads are calling me to tell me now. That between last night and this morning, the director has been calling them individually and asking them not to bring the case again. So it is refreshing news, and I'm happy to hear that.
But as MP, is there anything...
And going forward, these are some of the things we need to look at. We are growing, we are maturing. And so if there were things that were happening in the past that we feel are unproductive, I feel that we should move away from it. I don't see what students lining up along the principal street waving at the president will add to his visit. I don't see the need for that. In fact, we are happy that the president is visiting because we have high expectations. As for the so-called
so he's commissioning a one district, one factory.
You see, that is questionable. It is a private company that is cutting trees in the Volta Lake. I wonder how that will qualify as one district, one factory. But hey, that is what this administration is interested in.
But as we know one district, one factory is not purely government. It's a private initiative backed by governments.
The government hasn't contributed anything to this factory. So I don't know why they would want to, but it's okay. But what we are asking for is that we have a factory in Akosombo that is dying. I hear the president may make a stop at ATL, Akosombo Textiles Limited. The hue and cry from the people in that area that the president should do something about ATL so that ATL does not die, because it gives employment to many people in not just Sojaman, not Manya, Yilo, and all those districts around. And so if the president visits ATL and he makes some pronouncements that will lead to reviving ATL, we will be very grateful. And so that is what we are looking at. That is what we want people to push for, and not for the children to line up along the principal street to wave at the president. And you know what happens when a president says they will arrive at 10 o'clock, because that is not the first district he's visited. He may end up coming 12, 1, 2. You cannot predict. And school children will be lining up along the street in this fortune stand for hours. I don't think that is good, and I'm grateful.
So just before we end this conversation, sir, is there any action that you intend taking? You're a member of parliament. Is there any action that you intend taking, either against the DCE, whom you say directed the district director to issue the statement?
What action can I take against the DCE? What power do I have to take an action against the DCE? I don't have that power.
Well, perhaps you could put a question on the floor of Parliament and get the minister to appear.
That is why I was going to get to that. These are things we can begin to talk about, and I'm very excited about the partnership that we are having from the media, speaking against things that we all agree is not healthy. And so if we continue along these lines, even having this conversation with you, it's sending a strong signal, and I don't think that Estojamai will repeat it. And
but can I just put in a controversial one? If you were a member of parliament on the ticket of the NPP, would you be sounding the way you're sounding this morning?
Yes. You see, I was a district chief executive, and I never did that. I had the opportunity to line up school children to welcome the president the countless times that he visited me in the district. I never did that. That should tell you that I don't see it to be necessary.
All right.
So
we have to leave it here.
It happens even during my tenure, during our tenure with President Mahama, I will still speak against it, because we should move away from some of these things.
Thank you very much for your time. Thomas Ampem-Nyako is Member of Parliament for Esojaman, and we've just been talking about this directive by the Esojaman District's Director of Education, asking about 12 institutions made up of junior high and senior high schools to get not only the school children but also the teachers to line up and welcome the president, who is expected in the Esojaman district today, as part of the things that he's expected to do will be to commission a one district, one factory. So that's Member of Parliament who's confirming to us that the directive has been overturned. So hopefully we will not find school children who are supposed to be in the classroom, getting out there and lining up to receive Mr. President. I don't know what this does to us. I mean, we've been doing this for a very long time.
And logically, the schools are all public schools. They get the West Grace too, making entry.
No, but you can't ask a private school to do that, can you?
But school children in the district, they're all controlled somewhat by not only the private owners or shareholders, but they're under the supervision of the Ghana Education Service nonetheless. That's all I'm saying.
So,
we have Xavier Cambridge JSS, South Senchi DA JHS, New Akradi Presby, Atimpoku DA. We have Anchiase DA, Akwemuman Senior High School. Even the senior high school, they are all involved.
Yeah,
Akwemu Ebuakwa DA, Akwemu West Presby, Akosombo VRA, again, number 1, number 2, Senchi, Ferry Methodist, and then we have New Senchi, RC, all public.
And the District Director of Education for Sojaman, who issued this, is Mavis O. Yerenchi. She issued this directive that the Member of Parliament is confirming to us that has been overturned. But some of the questions that we keep asking when our president goes to visit all these other countries, do they release their school children to line up and welcome Mr. President Roland? You've traveled, you've gone to places that I haven't been to. I think you can help. You can help us. You can help us.
Togo, Liberia, those places.
There was also the question, when the Queen steps out in the UK, do we have school children and things like that? When Mr. Trump goes to any of these other places in the States, do they like...
There's a friend.
Our friend, Mr. Obofo in the UK, he's watching the show, right? So maybe he should tell us, when the Prime Minister, Theresa May, steps out to any of the places in the UK to do something, I wonder if they commission some of the things that we commission here, but we are a special case. Do they get them
a friend told me that, recently when the president went to visit his school, he went to the UK to visit the school that he went to. Yes. I think the preparatory school that he went to. Yes, those students.
Mates.
And, it was not a formal visit. But he obeyed traffic rules. When there was traffic light for a car to stop, he stopped. There was something to do, he stopped. So he obeyed the traffic rules till he got to his old school. In Ghana, they don't inform anybody, just like the way they did in the UK, that they are going through. They use sirens. And you are in traffic. You, the citizen who voted for them, you are in traffic. They came to power before they get to power. They are using normal cars. They get to power. They use your taxpayers' money to buy 4-wheel drives. Then they use that same 4-wheel drive to blow sirens on you, the voter, on the road, for you to make way for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
good morning to you, Nana Addo. You are the Human Capital Manager for Road Safety Management Services Limited. Good morning to you.
Well, by the way, something that we didn't mention, there was a truck, and I don't know if you had it, but on my way to work, there was very heavy traffic this morning around the Achimota overpass.
Is that not the place they want to do the Sky Train?
Are we doing, really?
I'm asking. So you just have to park your car.
I don't know.
Take a Sky Train.
That was incredible traffic today. We're told that the vehicle has been, moved away, so traffic has eased a bit on that stretch. Okay. We'll take a breather. We'll be back with more. You're watching the AM Show.